Well, the computer's working now. Of course, it's got a new hard drive. You might have caught the photo that I posted to Twitter, geeks.perlo.com, my blog, chris.perlo.com last night. Instead of the Apple logo that shows up when a Mac boots, it was a symbol, like a circle with a line through it, suggesting that the volume was in trouble. And a few of you offered suggestions as to what the problem might be and how to go about solving it. None of those really worked. So I wound up calling. Well, okay, I didn't really call. I went online and made a reservation with the Genius Bar since I have Apple Care on this product. Totally recommended. I've run into issues with hardware on my MacBook Pro. Never had a problem with support at all. I love Apple Care. I've mentioned it before. No stress. So I took it in. They did I believe it was a well, it wasn't really a remote boot into it. It's what they call target disk mode, where you plug in a FireWire drive and can boot off of that, and then they ran a smart disk utility check on the drive. Indeed, it was failing, and so I begged and pleaded. I said, "Okay, I know you're going to replace the drive. Great, that's fine. They had the part in stock. Can I please have the dying drive?" And not really their policy. However, I kind of signed my life away and got the drive. Yay! So this gave me an opportunity to try this, and you might remember when I reviewed it. It was a few months ago. The Nexstar hard drive dock, which can accommodate SATA drives, either 2.5 inch or 3.5 inch. And this, of course, is a notebook drive, 2.5 inches. Plugged it right in, connected it by USB, and indeed, I am able to mount this drive as a separate drive. However, it's a read-only volume since it's kind of on its last legs. I didn't really have a lot of data on the drive that I needed to copy off, but since I use my MacBook Pro as my syncing computer for my iPhone, all the iPhone applications that I had, I at least wanted an index of them so that I could, go back and get the ones that I had if, I didn't have any other way of knowing. That's the problem with iPhone apps or some of the purchases. I have the same problem with Xbox. If you buy a lot of games and then you get a new Xbox, there's no easy way of automatically re-downloading all the games you bought. Just like there's no easy way of automatically downloading all the apps you bought from the App Store. It's a huge shortcoming, especially when something like this happens. So the Nexstar works perfectly. The USB connection is a little flaky. As long as it's in there and you don't touch it, everything should be okay. But I was able to connect it. I tried copying one folder to the desktop, specifically the apps directory. Ran into some problems with OS X's copy, so what I did was drop to a terminal, command line, and just did a CP star and then copied things to the desktop. If you're familiar at all with classic Unix commands, worked fine. And in fact, I was able to get read and write errors out on the when I was doing the copy from the command line. It told me some of the files that are likely to be problematic, so I'm probably going to have to go back for those particular binaries and re-download them. But it's a short list compared to the files that did copy over, at least according to what I was able to do. Those are the only errors that I got. So I think I'm going to go through and check to make sure I've got all the other data off this drive. Don't know if I'm going to keep it. I'm probably going to take it. That might make an interesting video. What should I do with the dying hard drive now? I'll ask the chat room. What should I do? I've learned my lesson. I don't know if I learned my lesson. Hard drives fail. It just has. This actually has nothing to do with being a Mac. It's a hard drive. This hard drive could exist in any computer. It just so happened to exist in this one. Bottom line is support was amazing. I didn't call, even though my first inclination call. Got online, made the reservation, walked right in, got it done. They took the computer. It took them less than a day to replace the drive. They called me, and I went and picked it up same day. It was amazing. Sorry. So if anything, I am more impressed that Apple's doing their job. I mean, Apple Care really works, as well as this Nexstar device. The hard drive, not so much. But what was nice is they restored Leopard. Of course, it was a couple of revisions ago onto the hard drive, so that saved me a bit of time with reinstalling. Everything else seems to be in check. Nothing seems to be different that I can see. It's essentially a new system with a new hard drive. I mean, well, it's not a brand new system, but it's a new hard drive, and that's a good thing. This is, yeah, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this. Yeah, you never know. Hard drives kind of go that way. I had not been backing up, likely because I don't put a lot of stuff that I need on my MacBook, on any kind of portable device. I mean, whether it's, an MSI Wind that I have underneath my desk. See, I keep it under here. I really don't back things up on portable devices. I just treat them as knockarounds because that's kind of what happens with them. So the bottom line is I was able to get some of the data off, and AppleCare worked, Nextstar worked. Some suggestions if you can't get through GUI and copying files back and forth, whether you're running Windows or Mac OS 10, think about dropping to a command line and issuing some commands there. Work just fine. Very, very grateful for everybody who stepped forward online and suggested some solutions for the problems. None of them worked, of course, but I was very grateful that you at least offered those suggestions. Now the next suggestion, as I said, I'm looking for is what am I going to do with this hard drive? This pretty much dead, a real geeky coaster? Not so much. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. My email address is chris@pirillo.com. Maybe you have some hard drive tips to pass along. Share them with the rest of the community. Geeks.pirillo.com is where you can find me floating around on the web. Well, of course, I'm on Twitter as well. Twitter.com/Chris Pirillo. And then I also have this chat room, which is a part of the live video feed that goes out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And yes, sometimes I even have the chat room text popping up behind me. You never really know what's going to happen here, whether it's hardware failure or just user error. Pebcac ID10T at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.